Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're doing something really, really cool. We're completely demystifying the overwhelming complexity of building a truly enterprise-ready AI agent. If you've ever looked at AI integration and felt like turning a simple model into a secure, corporate powerhouse is just a daunting, almost impossible task, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to break it all down. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to move beyond the basic chatbot, look at the purpose and intelligence layers, dive into data, context, and execution, build a shield with governance and safety, explore deployment, and wrap up with the future-ready enterprise. So, Section 1, Beyond the Basic Chatbot, Setting the Stage. Now, what's really interesting here is that we've got to shift our whole perspective right out of the gate. We are moving way beyond a simple plug-and-play chatbot. To actually operate at an enterprise level, you need serious architecture. Just take a look at the sheer scale of the ecosystem on the screen right now. We're talking about 10 distinct interconnected layers, those vibrant nodes you see, that are absolutely required to make an agent functional and, more importantly, secure. It's literally a complete digital anatomy, mapping the whole shebang from its cognitive brain to its operational hands, all the way to its defensive shields. To put it simply, think of an enterprise AI agent kind of like a highly capable but incredibly literal new employee. You know, someone who works at the speed of light but, well, might accidentally approve a $1 million expense if you aren't watching closely. This new hire needs a strict job description, very specific tools, a human manager, and a crystal clear HR policy to follow. Basically, it's a secure, structured system that relies entirely on these 10 interconnected layers to survive and thrive in your corporate ecosystem. Moving on to Section 2, Purpose and Intelligence Layers, the foundation. All right, before we let our new employee loose, we hit Node 2, Defining Purpose and Boundaries. Think of this as the official job description. And the crucial point here, before a single line of code is even written, is that you absolutely must identify exactly what decisions the agent can make. And critically, you need to establish exactly where human approval is required. Setting these strict boundaries up front, it's completely non-negotiable for enterprise safety. Next up is Node 1, the intelligence layer. If the purpose is the job description, well, this is the brain. Notice the heavy emphasis here on structured reasoning. We definitely don't want an agent just spinning up unpredictable, hallucinated text. No way. We need it to reason logically. We do this by using careful memory design for continuity and strict prompt frameworks to make sure it acts consistently every single time. Which brings us to Section 3, Data Context and Execution, the engine and hands. Now, a brilliant brain is completely useless without the right files to read, right? So we look at Node 3, Data and Context. The agent has to rely strictly on approved, trusted data sources. By intentionally filtering context to reduce the noise, and by tracking data freshness, we make absolutely sure the agent doesn't formulate big decisions based on, say, some outdated policy from 3 years ago. Then we've got Node 5, the tools and execution layer. If data is the engine, these are the actual physical hands doing the work. The agent needs secure API integrations to interact with your software, sure, but it also requires tightly controlled read, write, and execute permissions. Setting strict transaction boundaries and rate limits is huge here. It literally prevents the AI from running up massive unexpected cloud computing bills. Trust me, you do not want that surprise. Okay, Section 4, Governance, Safety, and Control, the shield. Let me just pause right here and ask you something directly. What happens when the agent makes a mistake? Seriously, think about it. Because in complex systems like this, it is never a matter of if, it's always a matter of when. To answer that, let's examine Node 7, Autonomy and Control. Enterprises have to perfectly balance automated speed with essential managerial oversight. So first, we have human in the loop. These are checkpoints that mandate human approval for any high-impact actions. Second, we have escalation paths. This is super cool. If the agent's confidence drops, it triggers automatic safety measures. We're talking literal kill switches or rollbacks to stop a bad action right in its tracks. Building directly on that is Node 10, Safety and Guardrails. This is your technical defense perimeter. It involves protection against prompt injection, which is basically stopping bad actors from tricking the AI into breaking its own rules. We also need rigorous output validation and adversarial testing, so the AI stays resilient against those weird, unexpected edge cases. Then there's Node 6, Governance and Accountability. Think back to our new employee analogy for a second. This right here is the strict HR policy. There has to be clearly defined responsibility for the agent's actions within the organization, and that needs to be backed up by comprehensive audit logs and role-based access control. At the end of the day, the enterprise has to remain fully accountable for whatever the AI executes. All right, Section 5, Deployment and Evaluation, the heartbeat. So you might be wondering, how do we actually release this incredibly complex agent into the real world? Well, we look at Node 4. We absolutely do not just flip a single switch and hope for the best. Nope. We isolate the environment, manage versioning across all our models, prompts, and tools, and conduct gradual rollouts alongside some heavy testing. It's a highly measured lifecycle designed specifically to catch issues before they can scale. Once we're deployed, we rely on Nodes 8 and 9, observability and evaluation. And listen, evaluation isn't just some one-time test. It requires constant, ongoing tracking of token usage, latency, and task success. You have to know exactly what the agent is doing, how well it's doing it, and crucially, how much it costs at all times. Because runaway AI costs, they will absolutely destroy your margins. And finally, Section 6, the Future-Ready Enterprise Outcomes. Let's tie all these intricate technical layers directly back to actual business value. Because why do we go through all this trouble? Well, right now, in today's economic climate, hitting that critical 10% growth target is harder than ever. Everyone is feeling it, and this 10-layer architecture, it is exactly how you achieve it. Governance builds the trust you need to operate safely. Intelligence drives value through much smarter decisions. The tools layer allows you to operate efficiently, and this is key. It gives you the scale to hit that 10% growth without ballooning your headcount. Autonomy empowers humans, and continuous deployment makes you completely 100% future-ready. Wow, we've covered a tremendous amount of ground today, mapping out a highly complex but incredibly powerful ecosystem. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Your AI model might be smart, but is your enterprise truly ready to control it? I challenge you to reflect on your own organization's readiness across all 10 of these crucial layers before you even think about deploying your next agent. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this framework gives you the confidence to go out and build something amazing.